Eric Tech for the Athens Messenger, Parker. I was talking to you a couple weeks ago and mentioned the fact that you haven't really thrown consistently much throughout the past few years. 70% completion today. Been pretty good through the first 2 days. Just how's the passing game felt through the first couple of years of the year?
Yeah. Yeah. Is this the mic?
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's felt definitely things to improve upon for sure. But I think in terms of seeing what I'm seeing, taking care of the ball, I'm trying my best to just be as consistent as possible. But I think, especially going into half, that last drive to go score a touchdown was huge. And, we're doing it on the ground. And if we keep doing that and doing it in the air, like, we're going to be a complete offense.
And then kind of adding on to that, what's the emotions with that touchdown to Chase, especially just having a long throw into the end zone?
Yeah.
What's the emotions of that?
It felt good. It felt good because we got some players outside, and, I love to see them get the ball and get in the end zone. And I think they're going to be – those guys on the outside are going to be a huge part of our offense. So it's just really exciting.
Thanks.
Yep.
Charlie Fidel with the Post. Obviously, a lot of injuries tonight at linebacker. What did you make of some of the performances of guys that stepped up?
Yeah, I mean, going into last week, we were real banged up. In that Syracuse game, we got real banged up. Lost Shea, lost Reese. So all week in practice, we're kind of trying to see what we got, see who's going to step up. But, it really is next man up mentality. And me and Mike Molnar headed starting linebackers tonight, and unfortunately, Mike went down early. He made a great play, and unfortunately, he went down. And Caden Schmidt stepped up, played a heck of a game for the Bobcats tonight. Made some huge plays on that last drive, as I'm sure you all saw. Stellan Bowman, young guy, got his first college snaps, ACC at Syracuse in the JMA Dome last week. Didn't flinch, got a hit on Kyle McCord, came out tonight, stepped up and played his role. So we've got guys. It's next man up, and we've got guys in that linebacker room ready to play.
Bobby Keegan with the Post. This can be for any of you, but just today, being the first home game, the stadium was packed. What do you guys think of the crowd, and how did that impact the game?
You start.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome crowd. It was my first game here at Peden on the Frank, and we've talked about it ever since I got here in January. We don't lose on the Frank, and that's been carried out through the past couple of years ever since the field was renamed. And just kind of coming in my first game here tonight, I was going to make sure we didn't lose on the Frank, and that's full stadium really helped us make sure that happened. So we appreciate everybody coming out, and couldn't have done it without them really, because it got loud in there tonight, and it was fun. It was a fun time.
Andrew Bowie at WOUB. Coach had talked to us a couple of times the last week about how his team was going to have their biggest improvement from game 1 to game 2. How do you guys think you dealt with that, and how much of growth do you guys think you had in this week?
Yeah, I think we had we took another step. I think each week we're taking steps. I don't think we're there yet, and I think everyone else could say that and attest to that. But we're heading in the right direction as a team, and this was a unique game. It was a dogfight, and we came out, and so that was really encouraging. So,
Colby, just take me through that big special teams play where you ended up getting that fumble recovery. Obviously, shifted the momentum in a big way.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Just out there, do my job, help the team, running downfield. Saw him off the punt, running down, saw somebody covered him up, and ball just spit out, got on top of it. Just did my job.
Kind of adding on to that, I mean, being a long snapper, how important you really are to the team, but maybe not a position that gets the credit that it really deserves. So how nice is it to kind of have a moment where you do get the credit, where you are the center of attention for the slight second?
Honestly, like you said, we don't get much attention, so honestly, I didn't know how to feel about it. I mean, our job is just to go unnoticed, help the team. I mean, I don't know. Just an amazing feeling, though.
Parker, for you, it seemed like you were able to kind of showcase your legs a little bit more today. Just what were you seeing out there?
Yeah, just they were dropping a lot of guys out into coverage in some looks, and it kind of just left me open a little bit. So felt good. It always feels good to run around, free. Yeah, I guess that's all. That's all I have to say to that.
Grant Key for WAUB. You completed, Parker, I believe passes to 7, 8 different receivers. It was your first game with over 200 yards as a starter. What does it mean to be able to have a group of guys that in the receiving core that you can throw it to whoever?
It's huge. I think on that drive, I hit a different guy going in half down the field. And I love when we get all those guys involved because they're so talented. We got guys like CG stepping up in a big role. And, we got Coleman, Rodney Harris, Chase, and we got all these guys that are weapons. And so, I love when they get their touches because they're all explosive. So, yeah.
Blake, South Alabama had almost 600 yards of total offense last week against North Texas. Tonight they had just 336. What went into sort of the preparation coming into this week trying to stop that offense?
Yeah, no, I mean, so 336 is too much for us tonight, but a lot better than 600. We know they were a very explosive, dangerous offense, a lot of athletes, a lot of stuff to really mess with our eyes, motions and swaps, and just really trying to get us out of our game. So this week we really talked about our eye discipline. Our coaches made sure we saw the film we needed to see, got the looks we needed to do in practice, and we really just honed in on our eyes and discipline. And really it was just the basics this week. We kept it simple, and we executed. So.
Parker, for you, on I think it was the second to last drive, you guys were about midfield and it was a 4th and 1 and you guys decided to go for it. What was kind of going through your head? Did you want to go for it or what was just going through your head in that moment?
Yeah, definitely want to go for those ones always. We converted that one? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It led to the
Just
field goal.
Yeah. That, I love the aggression that we have offensively. And I think the more of those that we have as an offense, the more dangerous we're going to be. Just having the discipline on, those third downs we need to convert and those fourth downs we need to convert. I think that just adds to what we can do offensively. And it kind of speaks to our guys' execution. So, yeah.
And then just one last one for you. Just what did it feel like to get into the end zone on the ground today as well, having a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown?
Yeah, it felt awesome. I walked in there untouched. So that's always nice. I love running in the end zone as well as, passing. So it's a great feeling. Yeah.
This could be for any of you. I think tonight was your guys' 600th win in program history. What does it mean just for you guys to be a small part of that?
Feels amazing. I mean, we plan to win many more this season, and from there on, we just started, so we're excited to see the rest of you guys.
Colby, special teams has been really impressive so far with Gianni being perfect on kicks. Jack Wilson's looked really good as punter. How have you been impressed with the unit as a whole since you've been here at Ohio?
This unit is amazing. This is the most competitive unit I've been a part of. Even our depth is really good. That just pushes all of us to be even better every day. So I can't say no about those guys. Been doing amazing.
Anything else?
I'll just ask one more, mainly for you, Parker. Just obviously there were some red zone problems last week at Syracuse not being able to convert. Tonight you guys were able to get into the red zone and punch it in with touchdowns. How big was that for maintaining the momentum and ultimately winning this game?
Yeah, it was great. And that was a big focus that we had going into this week. How can we finish in the red zone? And like I said earlier, I think there's steps that we can continue to take, especially for myself, leading the offense. But, to have us punching the ball, getting down in the red zone and scoring some touchdowns was pretty awesome. And I think to see that coming from last week to this week, it's encouraging. And I think that's going to help us continue to build on what we can do in the red zone. So.
Thanks for being here. We're very excited about the win. It's a total team win. I'll say the word program win, as we had 58 Bobcats got their first win on the Frank tonight, and several staff members. So coming off a tough loss on the road at Syracuse with some injuries, particularly on defense, and that's where we were banged up the most. And I thought it just an outstanding effort defensively, offensively, some tough yards late, which I'm sure I'll get questions about. And then I thought we had another good showing on special teams. We had some personnel issues a couple different times. We were playing a lot of different guys with battling some injuries. But overall, happy with the win. You got to give a shout out to our community, our fans. It was a sold out. I know there's some band members in there, but the hill was packed. I saw a lot of shirts with painted chest and painted faces, and they were pretty rowdy from what I could tell. And it was loud there in the second half. The stadium looks great. I tip my hat to the crews all summer, Director Cromer, President Gonzalez, and how the stadium looks. It is, again, repeating myself, but it's the best game day experience. And I mentioned it. I didn't mention it. I talked to our team about it, and they were, guys were very, very excited. We have 58 members that have, a lot of those guys get recruited and came to a game at some point in time, and they've seen it. Okay, but there's more players that had not seen it that were excited about it from what they've heard, and that speaks nothing but to our administration and Bobcat football. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Coach Eric Decker, the Athens Messenger. Obviously not the cleanest win tonight, but still an impressive win in senses. And it seems like over the past 3 years, these close games and playing well and close games and all that seems to kind of be an identity you guys are building. So just how proud are you in terms of just being able to withstand another pressure-packed situation, especially to start the year with this new team?
That's really good comments in there, Eric, and I'm really proud of you. But you said you're starting to establish an identity, buddy, and you're spot on. I think that, again, I'm going to pat the staff on the back with the turnover and the way they're going about it. We've got a group that they want to be great. They work hard. They do what we ask. They're not perfect. Sometimes you win and you don't play your best. I'm not so sure. I know we can play better in some areas, but it's week 2, and for the injuries that we have, particularly on defense, I'm not going to rule out that it was poor. And I know that you didn't. You're not meaning that we played poor, but it's for certainly a step, and I love the identity part because we were able to run the ball, and everybody knew we were going to run the ball, and we were able to close it out, and that is that's a mental thing that shows toughness and grit and togetherness.
Andrew Bobby at WOUB. I wanted to ask about the run on the final drive that led you guys into victory formation. Just what did that run and then the offensive line pushing ties down the field? What did that say about your team and the group up front?
Again, I think it's it's an identity, it's a toughness. And we pride ourselves in having rushing yards in the second half. It's a thing. We talk about it, and we were able to do that. But on the pushing the pile, I thought the ball they should have been a few more yards put on there. But the ball carrier was, according to the officials, up in the air. That is the correct call. And but our guys, they're about it. They're about it. So it's exciting.
Bobby Keegan with the Post. Defense was facing a lot of adversity out there with injury, like you said. How do you think they responded, and did anybody in particular stand out to you?
Monday, I'll know. I can give you more names. I just know we played with an edge, and really in all 3 phases. Not perfect by no means, but we had an edge, particularly on defense. And as I told them, I say, guys, in pregame in this room, I said, I know we got some injuries. I said, but you playing, right? CJ, you playing? I went down and I named about 15 guys. I said, we'll be fine. By golly, they were fine.
Coach Parker started the game. Try to put it up in the Post. Parker started the game 6 of 12 passing, but starting with his drive from the 125 mark in the second, he was 14 of 16 the rest of the game. How do you think he progressed throughout tonight? Well,
I'm going to say pretty good, especially in the second part of that, right? Marty Bannister mentioned this on the radio just now that the last drive before half and then the opening drive in the third quarter, huge, and which is that he's spot on. But I thought Parker, he made some really good throws. The touchdown throw was a great call, well executed, but he threw a dime to Chase in the corner over there in a pretty good wind. The wind laid in the second half, but he had some really nice balls. And again, and Parker does Parker things. Grit, tough, guys respond to him, and we can build on it.
Grant Kiefer with WAUB. You have mentioned a lot early on in the season that, there's a lot of guys in the receiver room. You want to spread the wealth. And tonight, I believe Parker completed passes to 8 different guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does it mean that, not just have that unit, be able to rely on them, but also how they've progressed early on here?
Yeah, really good question. The tight ends, I told you that it was coming. They got a few, right? You asked me a couple of tight end questions, right? So the one he threw to Mason, and in the fourth quarter was a big one. But you just look at it from South Alabama's perspective. Okay, we got to corral Trey, and we got to know where 6 is. Call him, and the ball got distributed. Ricky had the long run early, and Trey got enough done in there, and then Chase Hendricks, Rodney Matthews got some catches today. So the ball did get spread around. I think it's going to continue to do that, and that those numbers will grow.
Kind of adding on to the receiving core, aside from Chase's 33-yard touchdown, the longest completion today was only 15 yards. 2 of them were to the tight ends. Was that something where you guys had a more conservative approach when calling in the pass game, or was it just kind of how the?
I'm gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off there,
Right.
Probably could have taken a few more shots down the field, and we didn't really do that. And they didn't play a lot of man. They're a big zone team. I may have mentioned that on Monday in the presser. So I'll have to look at the film to really dive into it. But I do like the ball and the distribution today. With the guys now. The chart, so many throws at 12 to 16 and 18 plus. I have to look at that. Maybe bring it up on Monday, and I can give you a little bit better answer with some data.
Coach, talking about Parker Navarro, what is it like to have a dual threat quarterback who has really grown into that role in your offense, and then also how has that just impacted the offense and having that guy be able to throw it and run?
I think that when the quarterback has the ability to not only create in the pocket, the one scramble was huge, on the field goal drive, but then when he pulls the ball or some option stuff, it pumps air into the inside between the tackles, as my wife says, up the middle all the time. Okay, and my daughter, but it pumps air in there, and so you get the run like Ricky. Or you get the run that Trey had in this to start to get the first down on the last drive there. A few guys their eyes are chasing Parker, and it helps the guys up front because there's 11 guys that they got to guard 11 guys.
So there, towards the end of the game, on South Alabama's last offensive drive, I think they had a 3rd and 2. That was on 3rd and 2. They had back-to-back penalties, one of which was a false start. At that point in the game, the stadium got pretty loud. How do you think that the crowd kind of impacted those last couple of minutes of the game, and just how important is that?
It's loud down there, and you're pumping energy into our guys, and they get up on the fans' shoulders and freaking finish it out. It's you go walk across the street over to the Convo, the glow sticks are going. It's the same thing, it's energy, and it was a fountain at times, and our guys, they feed off of it.
Coach, Anthony Tyus got the start tonight running back, but obviously Ricky and him both split carries, both had their big moments. What do you think? What did you make of both of their performances tonight?
Solid. Again, I'll know more on Monday, but the run that Ricky got us to, I think he got us to 4th and 1. We went for it, I think. He bounced off. He got popped from both sides, kept his feet going, and got us to 4th and I think it was 1 or 1.5, and go. And if he takes those shots and goes straight down, it's 4th and 3. We're punting the ball. He made me make a call. 4th and 3, I'm punting it, and I'm probably covering my mouth like this, but he got another yard and a half, and I gotta make a call, and so I that's solid. That was his biggest, call there was in the game, and we executed very, very well.
Coach, the red zone was a big talking point after the Syracuse game. Tonight, you guys seem to have some more success in the red zone. How do you think your team played in that area of the field?
Yeah, we had some touchdowns tonight. I know we had to get a field goal there early, but I just replaying it in my head. There's a couple things we got to do better. I thought the Parker the opening drive of the third quarter, that's big time. Especially how it unfolded and what they did defensively, what we had called. Parker saw it. It was like the Red Sea, man. And I don't think anybody touched him. That was if you really knew what was going on there, that was really pretty cool. So there's good there, but I think there's more potential there, and we're going to keep getting them better.
This is probably one that you'll have to do more on Monday, but I noticed that South Alabama, they play a lot of one shell, and of course Parker started throwing the ball a lot more. Do you think that made him a little bit more comfortable recognizing that pre-snap?
I'm going to say probably not, but the one shell, it's without getting too technical, it's one shell, but their boundary safety is really a third linebacker. And how and he's down and it's one, but at the snap, there's times he goes back and it's two, so it can get complicated for the quarterback, if you're just going off one versus two without getting too technical. And there was some chess match going on, particularly in the second half. We hit them on a big option play, and they made an adjustment and got a little twist thing going that they baited us. So I made it technical. I apologize. I'll quit talking.
Your top three tacklers on the night were all in the secondary. So just what's your reaction to something like that?
Well,
it's not usual in a sense.
I didn't catch that. I know Austin Brawley's had two really, really good games off the bat, and he's a physical kid. He's a ball hawk. He just seems to find it. He is, right at he's close to getting a couple picks. I want him to keep coming and keep leading. He's the quarterback back there. And I thought, I said this, their skill receivers are as good as Syracuse's, if not better, are my exact words. And, we didn't shut them down, but our two corners, Roman and Byron, played well. Dustin Johnson got some really good snaps. We were physical back there. And so I'm happy for John Hauser, his first win as a defensive coordinator. And the defense, it was their call sheet was really, really shrunk down because of the shifts and motions that they had going into the game plan and their tempo. And so you got to tip your hat to the staff on defense, but the guys went out and did a really, really nice job.
Last two.
Coach, you told us a couple of times after the Syracuse game and then on Monday that the team would see their biggest jump from game one to game two. So what did you see in terms of your team's improvement, and then what can you take from game two to improve for game three?
I like the sense of urgency on offense. Not perfect. I love the edge we played with tonight. We had an edge. All right, and I'm not just saying that because we had some after the whistle things. It was how they called the game. We had to adjust to it, and I told them, don't keep your edge. Let's make the adjustment and go out there, and they were able to do that. So there's a jump there in a lot of areas. I like where we're headed. We got to get some guys back, but we're gonna enjoy this for 24 hours. Continue to be a one game at a time outfit. And keep pressing.
Tonight was your guys' 600th win in program history. What does that mean to you, just to be a small part of that?
Yeah, 20 years I've been here. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was really on the horizon. Marty Bannister brought that up as well. I think it's pretty cool, And there's a lot of former Bobcats and administrators have a lot to do with that. You know, Coach Hess there's pictures, all the pictures of Coach Hess. He's got the block O on, and I wear that in his honor. Don Peden, right? Frank Solich. There's a lot of history in those 600 wins, and Brooke and I are humbled to serve this university and be a part of it. Really, I apologize, and I should have said this. I apologize for my voice. It is pretty rough. I'm coming off a head cold from the Syracuse trip, and there's a lot of intense moments today on the sideline with my voice, so I ripped it up pretty good.